What's happening, YouTube? Welcome to the Mr. Winslow channel. I am Mr. Winslow, your host, and today we will be discussing a very hot topic in the African American community that centers around atheism in the Black community. This video blog will detail the findings from a survey that was done last week in the Houston area shopping mall. The focus group consisted of 118 to 25-year-olds, and they gave their particular take on believing in God and not believing in God. Let's get started on this very interesting two-part video blog, shall we? The first part dealt with the very simple question, do you believe in God? 75% said yes, 20% didn't know, and 5% flat out did not believe in God. When we went to why or why not, this is also tied into the first question. 80% said it was due to their upbringing. Now, this should come as no surprise because here in Houston, Texas, which is considered a part of the Bible Belt, yes, the Bible Belt, the southern region of the United States is considered the Bible Belt historically and traditionally. 80% said it was due to their upbringing. So this meant that they had a mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, aunt, or uncle that made sure that they went to church on Sunday. They probably told these young people when they were younger that you can probably stay out and do whatever you want, and you can come home when the paper boy throws the paper in the yard, but I know where you're going to be at 9 o'clock on Sunday. 9 o'clock Sunday meant Sunday school. Sunday school is attached to the church. So there you have it. It was a classic case of their upbringing. 15% said it was a personal experience. The personal experience crowd was kind of fascinating because they were broken into two parts. They went either way, either believing or non-believing. The favorable personal experience people said that they had prayed to the Lord for a better job. They had prayed to the Lord for a particular mate. They had prayed to the Lord for more money or something to gain, something that would prosper them. And they felt that the Lord answered their prayers. So yes, a personal experience solidified their faith in God. You had another half that had unfavorable reports. Some of them felt like God had abandoned them because they had gone to school and maybe they didn't have the job in their field. Maybe they had a family member that they prayed for, but they lost this family member and they were jaded towards God because of this. Some of them just felt like their prayers didn't even make it past the ceiling. So this would give them a very jaded and a very clouded and just dubious attitude towards God. And I can understand that. 5% said, show me. More proof is required. They would believe, however, they would have to have proof. They wouldn't go by hearsay. They would go by 100% tangible evidence. And I can understand that as well. Now, the second part of this survey was extremely interesting to me because this gave me the wonderful opportunity of setting the question in diametric opposition to the believer and to the atheist. How did you do this, Mr. Winslow? Very cleverly, I'll tell you. Number one, we asked the atheist, Mr. Atheist or Miss Atheist, what if you die right now and there is a God? Wow, that's something else, isn't it? Well, the findings were just as astounding. When asked this question, the atheist replied, well, sorry. Or they would say, well, God, you should have given me more proof. Now, you're probably going to do whatever you want to me, but this is all your fault. You should have given me more proof. You should have let me know that you were around. You know how I think. If I don't see the facts and figures, and if I can't touch it, feel it, or do whatever to it, I won't believe. So, yes, some of them said that they would feel regret. And then, of course, there were some that said, more proof is required. Definitely understandable. When we ask the believer, Mr. and Mrs. Believer, what if you die right now and there is nothing but oblivion that awaits you? Total nothingness, an empty void. The overwhelming majority of believers that were asked this question said it would never happen. This was not only very magnanimous, but it was very inspiring to me, because I was very surprised that such faith came from the mouth of an 18 to 25-year-old. Yes, I was very astounded and surprised by this indeed, because this shows me that they have faith that transcends the age that they have. They have the faith that says, you know what, I may be an 18 to 25-year-old, but nonetheless, I have the faith that is going to keep me fortified, the faith that is going to bring me wisdom and favor. I thought that was very refreshing to see. In closing, I would just like to say, YouTube community, that as a practicing Christian myself, I do not look down on atheism in the black community. I do not look down on atheists in the black community, white community, yellow community. It doesn't matter. You have the right to believe whatever you want to believe. If you believe that there is an island somewhere in the Pacific where the hamburgers eat people, go ahead. If you believe that there is no God, go ahead. You certainly have the right to believe that, just as I have the right to believe and practice my religion. As long as my religion does not harm you and your faith does not harm me, we're okay. Also, I would like to say that this was a very fun survey that I did, and I look forward to doing more in the future. But nonetheless, YouTube community, on behalf of the Mr. Winslow Studios, God bless.